Prince Harry touched down in Tokyo earlier today, where he will attend the International Sports Promotion Society's Sports Values Summit to join a panel discussion on sport, community and philanthropy. Back in California, though, Meghan reportedly celebrated her birthday early and without Harry last week, opting instead for a trip to see Barbie alongside her Hollywood girlfriends, including Portia de Rossi. That's Ellen DeGeneres' wife. Despite coming off Instagram after marrying Harry, the Duchess also looks set to relaunch herself on the social network with a new account primed and ready to go, simply @Meghan. Delighted now to welcome to the studio distinguished royal biographer Tom Bower. So, Tom, this is really interesting in terms of the developments. You've got Harry solo in Japan. Do you think this information about Meghan spending her birthday alone, well, without Harry, but with a very famous Hollywood girlfriend, was leaked in some way?
Well, it is leaked, but what we've got at the moment, which is actually quite hilarious, is that I can only think of the Sussexes as hoaxers. Everything is always a headline, but there's never any substance. So having sort of rubbished the royal family in Netflix and the spare book, which other people did all the work, what's interesting is they don't do any work, the Sussexes. They don't raise any money for their charity. Everything is always an announcement, and then it disappears, just to stay in the news. And at the moment, what I find the most interesting is this film, the book of the film, the film of the book.
Which Netflix has paid £2.3 million.
Which is peanuts. And it's all, so far, the greatest beneficiary has been the author, who I'm sure has sold millions more copies of her book because the announcement. But what it always was, is all about Meghan positioning herself in Hollywood. Everything is all about, let's have a position. And that's where the hoax comes in, that there actually is never anything made. We'll see whether this book ever becomes a film. I mean, 999 book options don't become films. And the money isn't there. 2.3 million is peanuts. But there we are. It's all about a joke they're having on us, that they're important.
They were once royal besties, two glittering power couples dominating headlines. Harry and Meghan, David and Victoria. But now, according to biographer Tom Bower, that friendship is dead. And Meghan? She's the one who lit the match. Bower claims Meghan Markle was deeply insecure about the Beckhams' global fame. Despite having royal titles, she feared being outshone by Victoria's legacy and David's universal appeal. That fear, Bower says, drove her to manipulate and eventually abandon the friendship. In Bower's words, Meghan milked them for everything she could. Invitations, exposure, association. All leveraged and then discarded. He paints a picture of a woman obsessed not with loyalty, but with optics and status.
Is she trying to show us that she's still connected to these big A-list celebrities in Montecito? Because, of course, we've heard about her falling out with lots of friends, but was it significant that she spent the night of her birthday with Portia de Rossi, who's obviously a big A-list Hollywood power player?
Well, you know, she didn't get to the Beckhams party in Miami, which was much more important. She didn't get to the great Oscar parties. All she can do is go and see a movie on her birthday. That's a bit sad, isn't it? But
now, what's going on with Harry and this Californian startup Better Up? Because he's paid a seven-figure sum. The staff are absolutely furious with the fact that they're all getting laid off. The company's in quite a lot of trouble. The staff say he's just a distraction with zero responsibilities. Is this more evidence of what you're talking about?
The hoax. Exactly. I mean, they got a big name a year ago, a bit more, to head up this company. The company is not doing very well. Harry, of course, has done very little for it and can't do anything for it in any case. So this is yet another example of where they get a great headline. At the time they scoop some money, he didn't do anything, the company is going down the pan, and that has happened to a couple of other companies to which they attach their name as well. This is where their credibility comes into question. And so they need a new announcement to show there's new life. And to go all the way to Japan just to get another headline seems a bit extreme.
The Better Up company is standing by Harry, though. They've written on their website, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is a humanitarian, military veteran, mental wellness advocate and environmentalist. He takes on private jets, though. As co-founder of Archwell, he is focused on driving systemic change across all communities through non-profit work, as well as creative action. activations. What does that mean?
Once vacation companions and wedding guests, the Beckhams now keep their distance. Bauer suggests it's not just Meghan's doing, but that David and Victoria were also furious after allegedly being accused by the Sussexes of leaking stories to the press. In Meghan's world, image is everything, and threats to that image must be neutralized. But in turning on the Beckhams, she may have exposed more than just a friendship fracture. She may have revealed how far she's willing to go to stay in control.
Well, it just means a lot of words, a lot of hot air, and he does nothing. But they can't actually dump him. It's like his travel company last week, Travellers.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of him. They want to separate themselves, but they really can't without destroying their own brand. But the only brand that is really getting thoroughly trashed at the moment, of course, is the Sussex brand.
Well, indeed. And, Tom, you had a fascinating piece on The Sun on Sunday at the weekend where you revealed, firstly, that you are hard at work because you've obviously been a biographer of Meghan Markle, revealing that you are now working on a new bombshell book about the Beckhams. I'm sure they're pretty nervous about that, given your track record. But actually, what I found really fascinating in this piece is that you reveal that when Meghan and Harry were on tour in Australia during their royal tour, they actually wanted nothing to do with the Beckhams because Meghan was so nervous about being overshadowed by Victoria.
Well, yes, what was really fascinating about the story is, of course, that Harry invited the Beckhams to come to Sydney for the Invictus Games. He flies halfway around the world, he gets there, and Harry doesn't want to see him. He's standing in the stadium saying, "Where's Harry?" And his people are told by Harry, "I don't want to be seen with David Beckham." Now, I think the reason was that Meghan was deeply worried that she would be overshadowed by the Beckhams. And if you remember at that moment, there was another hoax of Meghan that she thought she was Diana when she was in Australia.
So popular.
And the one thing she didn't want to do was have any competition.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about the whole Meghan-Beckham relationship is, which I discovered, is that she took them for a ride. She lived in their house, she got free clothes. She did everything she could to milk them and then dump them. Didn't invite them to her wedding dinner, didn't invite them to meet them in Australia, or invited them and then dumped them. And then in the end, she walked out on them. But I think the last laugh on that relationship will be the Beckhams. They'll triumph in Miami.
Because they're actually doing better, you say, in America in terms of their brand at the moment than the Sussex.
Absolutely. And, of course, the party in Miami after Lionel Messi got his great goal was a Beckham party, but without Meghan, but with the Kardashians.
Indeed. Well, look, my goodness, that is going to be one heck of a book. Tom Bauer, great to have you here. Thank you so much, as ever.